What's up, guys? ¿Cómo están? Welcome back to my channel. It is your girl Christina, tu vecina favorita que maquilla, and welcome to my face and my home today. So I just blew my hair out, and I'm gonna straighten it later, which is why it's like this. But I wanted to come on here and do this quick video before I, do my hair and get on with my day. So today I came across this word the other day, transnationalism. And I've never really heard that word before or seen it. So, I was thinking about it, I was in the shower earlier, washing my hair and everything. And I was like, I should do a video about this. And that's usually how it goes. I start thinking about something and then I'm like, this would be a good video topic. So anyway, when I was doing my research for my evolution of music in the Dominican Republic video, which if you haven't seen that video, definitely make sure you check it out. When I was researching the part about Meetinghouse or Meeting hip hop, I was just looking online to see if I could find any articles that gave any additional information. And I came across the Wikipedia article for what Meetinghouse is. And that is where I saw this word, transnationalism. So let me pull up real quick one of the paragraphs that was in that article. And I will read it to you guys. So I'm putting it up over here. Okay, so it says here, Meetinghouse originated during the 1990s in New York City by Dominican-Americans. They wanted to preserve their Dominican roots as well as adapt to their new environment. Dominican-American music can be considered an expression of Dominican transnationalism, as there was a significant shift in migration of Dominicans to New York City. It is not surprising that Meetinghouse, a musical hybrid, was popular to a generation of bicultural youth growing up in New York City with Dominican roots that combined both aspects of their culture. Meetinghouse is a symbol of national identity to Dominican Americans. So when I read that, I was like, whoa, I think that little section right there perfectly captures how most of us Dominican Americans feel, because even though we weren't born in DR, I feel like most of our sense of pride and how we identify it goes with our Dominican culture. We take a lot of pride in identifying as Dominican, and you guys have heard me say before that Dominicans are very nationalistic, very patriotic. So of course, you're raised by these very nationalistic Dominicans. You're also going to grow up with this type of uber pride in Dominican culture, even though you're born and raised in the US. And I like how it said there that, we are bicultural, because in reality, that's what we are. We have our Dominican culture that is passed down to us from our parents, and the culture that, we're raised in, and that, just like the Dominican values and things that, we grow up with. But at the same time, we have this American culture that we're also a part of, that we also grow up in, that we're exposed to. Now, there are some Dominican Americans that are, I guess, what you would consider kind of whitewashed, or they're the opposite. They end up kind of assimilating more into Black American culture, and they don't really rep their Dominican culture like that, which, what happens. But for the most part, I think most of us Dominican Americans, we are very proud of our Dominican heritage, and we're always representing for our culture. So I also just wanted to give a quick definition of what the word transnationalism actually means. So I'm gonna look that up for you guys as well. So transnationalism is a social phenomenon and scholarly research agenda out of the heightened interconnectivity between people and the receding economic and social significance of boundaries among nation states. So it can be also like an economic thing and something when there's like a diasporic migration, from a particular place. This article mentions like the Chinese diaspora or whatever, and the African diaspora, like the cultures, the values, it goes along with those people. Even though they've spread out to other areas, they still bring with them, that nationalism. And so it's the same with, Dominicans that migrated here to the United States, had all the kids here. Now you have us Dominican-Americans, but we still kind of hold that national pride, even though we weren't born in DR, you know what I mean? And so, I think it is very important, for us Dominican-Americans and, if we have kids here in the US, to instill in them, that pride in their culture. Of course, they can be proud to be Americans, and I think that they should, I can't say that I pride myself as much in being American than I do in being Dominican. I mean, for me, Dominican has always kind of held the first place. But I am also proud to be an American. And I always found it so weird when I would go back to DR when I was younger, and my cousins would call me gringa. And I was like, why are you calling me that? Because in my mind, gringo was always associated with white Americans. And I was like, I'm not white. Why are you calling me gringa? But I guess for other people, it's just American in general. So, but anyway, where was I going with this? Okay, so yes. So I think that it's very important that us here, that, we hold on to that cultural pride, and especially with our kids. And, I think of my girls because they are now what you would consider second generation, Hispanics or Hispanic Americans. And so I think to myself, dang, they're definitely going to have people telling them, but you're not really Dominican though, you're American. Like I've had said to me, like, you ain't really Dominican, because you weren't born there, blah, 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 you're American. Which y'all already heard me say this before. That gets on my nerves. Like, yes, I know that I am American, but I am Dominican too, okay? No te confunda. But, yeah, so it makes me think about them. Now, they're technically 3/4 Dominican because their father, may he rest in peace, was half Dominican, half Panamanian. So they also have like that whole other side they could also, tap into. And I would like for them to also know about their Panamanian heritage as well. But granted, they're probably going to be most in touch with their Dominican side because of me and my family and stuff like that. And I definitely want them to have pride in their Dominican heritage and to be able to proudly say, yes, I am Dominican, without having other people, on their necks talking about you're not Dominican, blah, 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 So again, I just think, I just want to say to Dominican Americans, I know most of us, we probably say we're Dominican, but, don't ever feel like you can't claim your culture. You can have as much pride as in your Dominican heritage, the same way a Dominican that was born in DR can have pride in that heritage, And if you have kids, instill that pride in them as well. I'm very much for, cultural expression and also just sharing of cultures among people. As I've said before, here in the United States, you're exposed to people of all type of backgrounds, and I appreciate that we can share our cultures with each other. Like my main clique in high school, we were a group of like 10 girls, and we were a variety of things. Like you had me, the Dominican, my friend who's Salvadorian, 3 of them were Sudanese Americans, one of them was from Eritrea, another one was actually from the Democratic Republic of Congo, and then there's 2 that were African American. So we were just a mix, of different cultures, and it was just so cool because some of them learned, about like Dominican music and dance through me. I learned a little bit of Arabic through some of my Sudanese friends, and like I learned some of their songs and their little dances and stuff like that. So I think it's important that we can also share our culture with other people as well. So again, take pride in who you are, Dominican Americans especially. Don't let nobody tell you you're not Dominican, okay? Y'all already see my series that I always point out, Dominicana pura cepa, right here, okay? And nobody's gonna take that from me or from my kids for that matter. So that was it for this short video. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet. Give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.